Okay, everybody, here we are in round number 2 of the Titanium Challenge. We are featuring Ben Reilly this round on the left. Excuse me while I get the names updated. He's playing Cheerios, which is the main reason why we decided to feature him, because Cheerios is awesome, and it's, you know, hasn't really been putting up the results yet, but it's fun to watch. I like the degenerate things, though. Most people don't. Most people want to see siege rhinos crashing into Tarmogoyfs, lingering souls tokens traded back and forth, and that's cool. I can respect that. But at the same time, I can also respect Cheerios, because it's pretty cool to see someone just completely go off. I think all this information is correct here on screen. Okay, Ben starting with Serum. Of course, if you don't know, Cheerios is based, well, really made possible by SRAM, the artificer from, I forget if it's Kaladesh or Aether. I think it's Aether Revolt. But basically, that and Pure Steel Paladin both say when you cast an equipment, draw a card. So you play all the 0 mana equipments, and as a result, get to draw your whole deck. Hopefully, because you've cast so many, and your deck is like 24 of them, or 22 of them. I don't know, I don't know the exact number of 0 mana equipments he has, but for 0 mana, you just get to draw a ton of cards. And then what you do, you retract 1 blue instant, return all your artifacts to your owner's hand. You play them again, you draw more cards, draw more gas. Maybe exile some Spirit Guides, cast a Grape Shot. Something like that. On the other side, Nick Allain, all in? Not really sure. I think I'll probably just call him Nick. Though, man, he's going all in here. Look at this, he's already at 11. This is turn 1, 11? Oh my god. What a monster. A 2-2 on turn 1, what a beast. That's what it looks like, but yeah. It's going to be a lot better than that in about 1 turn. There's the SRAM. Ooh, 0. 0. Wow. Ben's hand is bad. He drew the Grape Shot. He drew 2 Swan Songs. I can't imagine he has that many in his deck. That's kind of unlucky to brick out like that. He didn't even draw another copy of SRAM or Pure Steel, so, like, if Nick kills it, which he has a lot of ways in his deck to do, he can't even go off next turn. Maybe there's a reason we haven't seen much Cheerios. Eight life to 18, but don't let it fool ya. Nick is currently crushing. Because look at Ben's hand. Swan Song, retract, Grape Shot. I mean, what an ugly hand. What's his deck do? It's hard to tell sometimes. Gotta figure he takes the retract here. You can take Grape Shot, but, you know, on the off chance that there's only one, be like, oh, he can't win if I take Grape Shot, but that's just so risky. You should just take the retract. So now, even if Ben top decks a Pure Steel, he can't go off. There's the 0 mana equipment. Fixing life goals a little bit. Ben at 11. Ben's 2 swings away from dead, so he has a couple turns. Maybe like one more draw phase to find something. He's getting desperate. He's thinking about casting something so he can counter it and get a 2-2, which is a little ridiculous. He doesn't do that. Yeah, he shouldn't. Delta representing 3 more power for Death Shadow. Nicky boy. Got season. Ben Reilly trying to figure out if he wants to counter. Give Nick a 2-2 flyer. It does save him 2 life because, you know, he doesn't lose his... rather, Nick doesn't lose the 2 life from Thoughtseize, I guess. I guess that's relevant. He probably should. Ooh. In response to the fetch, the bolt. So here's the stack. It goes Thoughtseize, Fetch Land, Lightning Bolt. So Bolt resolves, Fetch resolves. Hallowed Fountain untapped. Ben, you don't have any Death Shadows of your own, man. Why are you dropping so low? I don't know. Swan Song. Target Thoughtseize. In response, he's like, wait. Swan Song. Target my own Swan Song. Most expensive way to get a 2-2 ever. He needs it to chump block. Attack. Jump. Ben's going to get 1 more draw phase. Let's see what he can do. Oh, okay. Well, Nick's going to go to 1 and play Tassiger. No reason not to, I guess. Ah, basic. Okay, going to 3. That's smarter. He'll do the formality. He'll be Delvin. Waste of time, really, because Ben, 3-2-1, scoopsies. No, I don't think there's anything he could have drawn there. Boy, you look at these decks in Modern, these combo decks, these decks that have so little card selection, they seem like combo decks, like the Ponza deck from last round, and man, you just wonder why people aren't playing Death Shadow, because Nick gets to play super efficient cards. He gets to play cards that cost 1 mana. He gets to play cards that kill anything or discard anything for 1 mana. He's like 1 mana answer card, Stubborn Denial for 1 mana. It's just a 1 mana counterspell. Even if you don't have Ferocious, it's a 1 mana counterspell most of the time because of how tight everyone's mana bases are. It just makes you wonder, why doesn't everyone play Death Shadow? The amount of things that have to go right for a Cheerios deck, or a Ponza deck, or a Living End deck, or a lot of these different fiddly decks. A lot has to go right. And I mean, Cheerios is a cool deck. Ponza is a cool deck. I wish that they were good enough. But man, watching them play against Death Shadow, it sure doesn't look like it, does it? Ben adding some sideboard cards, though. He's got some play left in him. The fight is not out of our boy Ben. He plays Cheerios every week. We featured him last week in the March Titanium Challenge. He played Cheerios. He didn't win, but he played Cheerios. So there's a reason he's playing it. He thinks it's good enough. I'm going to have to talk to him after this round and ask him why, because, man, playing against Death Shadow, it looks pretty rough. Maybe get him in here for a deck tech. See what his sideboard is, because he's got to have something for these Grixis decks, these Jund Death Shadow decks, these juggernauts, which just run over the whole room, like Tim Tonelli last week ran over the whole room. Maybe rest in peace? I hope so. I hope for his sake there's a rest in peace. That card is a house. That card is beast. Maybe like Threads of Disloyalty. That card would be pretty good. Steal your Death Shadow. Steal your Tarmogoyf. Both players keeping. Turn 1 Fountain. Nick just cycle. Now these decks do lose to themselves sometimes. I mean, Street Wraith makes you keep hands you wouldn't normally keep. Like, this hand he kept, it could have very easily had no lands in it. Who knows? I mean, you take a hand on a draw that's a great hand with 2 Street Wraiths, and you get to draw a card for your first turn. No lands in the hand, but you have 3 looks at it, and, well, the odds say you keep. I don't know that that was this game. Here it is. Here's the Inquisition. Now we get to see the hand. Pure Steel. That's the key card. That's the one that makes the engine hum. Looking like some equipment, a retract. That might be a Noxious Revival. Not really sure. I think it's Noxious Revival. And yeah, the obvious choice is Pure Steel Paladin. Makes the whole deck run. And when the best deck in the format plays 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Inquisition, and you're sitting there with a hand that has 1 Pure Steel Paladin in it, That can't feel good. Says go. He does have the Noxious. I mean, he can Noxious that Pure Steel back. Nick Allain. Taking lots of damage, down to 10. Holy moly. Thought Season. Going to 8 if it resolves. Getting a Foundry. Maybe Ben will be Noxiousing his Pure Steel on top. That'd be pretty techy. And yeah, wow, there he goes. So he's got a little resistance to these discard effects. You can't Thought Seize the top of someone's deck. Thought Scour would be a pretty sick one, though. Wouldn't it? Mill that Pure Steel. Nice Noxious Revival. And if he doesn't have a Thought Scour, Ben is set up to make an attempt here. Pure Steel. Draw. Ooh, no Fatal Push. This is great for Nick. Or rather, this is great for Ben. Excuse me. Noxious. A Retract on top. Wow, that's pretty good. Quarter Shield. Retract. Gets 2 more draw phases. Equipment. Draw. Equipment. Draw. Equipment. Draw. Equipment. Draw. Equipment. Draw. But what did that do? Like, what is this Cheerios deck? What did that do? He has a... My god, how big is that creature? It's got a Kite Shield. It's got 2... Wow, what is that creature? Oh my god. Whatever it is, I think it has... How many toughness does that thing have? I don't have my calculator on me, so I don't know how big it is. They're doing the math too. It might be a 214. I forget exactly what all those janky equipment do. Let me look these up real quick. Ben, as the look on his face that only a man in his position can have. Looks like some kind of judge call here. We're going to find out what that is for you guys in a second. They're talking now. They're over with head judge Gill. Some kind of issue with the streaming equipment. If y'all have never been in a feature match, it is a little different. You're surrounded by cameras. You have to play your cards a certain way. You have to subject yourself to my scrutiny, which isn't too bad usually. I'm in a good mood today. You have to update your own life totals. You have to play with clarity that you might not otherwise play with in a normal match. And it can throw you off. Your first feature match is going to be a little weird. But about halfway through the match, you're not even going to realize the cameras are there. Ooh. Push. Push ya. Push ya off a cliff. Ouch. Nice one mana card. Dealing with a 2/14. That's really pretty cool. Doomblade status right there. Nick down to 5. Ben taking a chunk though too. Can't block it. It has no creatures. So yeah, all those goofy things give +0/+3. So Ben has 12 toughness on the table right now. If he can get a creature, that creature is going to at least have 12 toughness. It's going to be able to block Death Shadow. He's at 3, so one blocker not enough. All right, here we go. He has to draw something spicy here. He knocks it. He draws it. He draws a retract. Ouch. Handshake. Ben, the top of his deck couldn't get there for him. Paradoxical outcome. Okay. This is making a little more sense now. Lets him return all of his equipment, and he draws a bunch of cards. That's a pretty good top deck versus a deck that wants to 1-for-1 you. Draw 5 cards, that would have been. This Cheerios deck, strung together by a hope and a prayer. It looks pretty impressive when it wins, but man, when it doesn't, it falls flat. Like that right there. He had 5 equipment in play, a bunch of lands. I don't know. It's hard to say. He could have easily just hit a few more equipment on that Pure Steel Paladin chain. Had another retract with his Pure Steel Paladin chain and gone off and killed Nick. But he didn't. It's like Ben sided out some, a couple equipment, a couple swan songs, serum, visions. Deck reminds me of the old Fluctuator deck way back. Fluctuator makes all your cycling cost 2 less. So you put it into play. It's a 2-mana artifact. You put it into play. You cycle through your deck, just 0 mana, cycle. Get your entire deck in your graveyard. Cabal Ritual, Living Death. Bring back all those silly creatures that are in your graveyard. By the way, Damnation your opponent too. That's pretty good. Reminds me of that. Where when it wins, it looks really good. But when it doesn't draw its namesake card, Fluctuator or Pure Steel Paladin, or they kill it, or they discard it, or the Living Death is the last non-cycling card in your deck, or what have you, it doesn't look so good. Ben, though, it's 1-1. He's still alive. He's won 1. He's lost 1. This is not a huge tournament. It's only a 6-rounder. He just has to win 3 or 4 more matches. That's easy. Nick, good position to top 8. 2-0. Congratulations, Nick. Nick Allain. I think there are 3 Grixis Death Shadow decks here, all of which are 2-0, so check out the VODs from later rounds. You might just have a Grixis Shadow mirror. I bet that'll be a fun one. Check them out in this playlist, April Titanium. Thanks for watching.